You're on suggestion timeout for 2 minutes. We're gonna start introducing penalties here.
Are we gonna leave them here and go talk to your clan and come back, or are we taking this thing with us? Because those are the only two ways that plays out, and I don't know if I want to leave this thing here alive. Might not be here when we get back.
Problem is, you're not wrong. What do the rest of you think?
I have some rope if we want to tie him up.
He's pretty strong.
I think that's our first priority, figuring out how we're going to restrain him. Whether we stay here or we go elsewhere, keeping him confined is the most important. Also, this just doesn't make sense. He practically told us much of, well, a little information, but nothing groundbreaking. Why would this happen now? And I know I'm the skeptic of everyone we meet, but we happen upon Granny May here. We spend the night possibly getting information, and then the next morning, this happens.
Are you blaming us or Granny May?
Well, a bit of both.
The creature that we saw prior to, would that be something that any of us would know? The Skya or whatever?
Go ahead. Make a history check for me, Emmerin.
And is that Fey Fiend Undead?
Yes. Also, as you guys are sitting here, you hear some splashing behind you. And as you turn around to look, Buttonhead's just like running through this little pond.
Get the baby out the pond.
13.
Just having the best time. You don't recall super well, but you're pretty sure you at one point had heard a story of something like this, Emmerin, but you can't remember if it was something that you learned later in life after you became a Bloodhunter, or if it was just like a children's story tale, something like that.
So like it's one of those things where it's like, I could swear I know something. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite
place it.
Okay. Hey, maybe we can ask Rogak. Oh.
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon. I'm kind of feeling like...
Is it possible that Rogak is inside this thing?
There's just so many questions and not enough answers.
Let's just say we're not going to go crack it open the shell to find out.
Orlo just like turns around and puts his hands on his hips and just like kicks the ground, just like, "Duh."
Fine.
So, what would you guys like to do from here? Do you want to try to restrain him? Do you want to...
Can we build a cage around him?
Out of what?
Yeah, that's the question.
I don't know. What's around?
Currently a lot of houses. There's some like...
Is there like a barn or a warehouse or anything?
Going by his description, I think he could punch out of a barn. I'm just saying.
Well, we could remove his arms.
Stop that.
That seems yeah.
You're on suggestion timeout for 2 minutes. We're gonna start introducing penalties here.
That wasn't very lawful good of you, Emmerin.
Take your slider and move it 1 point towards lawful evil.
I was just gonna say we could maybe stash him in a warehouse. There's one of the bigger storehouses around here, and just bar the door for now.
But he ain't going anywhere without them legs. That's for certain. At least he's not going far.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. We can break all his legs, but getting rid of the claws, that's too extreme.
Well, he was being threatening at that point. He's not a threat right now. I would just be cruel at this point.
Yeah, I mean he's unconscious on the ground. You know what? Break his arms.
While we're at it, just fucking smash him, snap him in half.
As hungry as Orlo is.
Lord, I really do want to search this area, though. Not that I would know what I'm looking for, but the fact that we came here and this happened, and that just seems like a really random creature to just decide, you know what, I'm just attacking today. Like, no. I feel like there's something here information-wise or other words, but I don't know what I'm looking for, but I feel like we need to search. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Rogak didn't really seem like this was something. He was pretty shocked, like by seeing that. It wasn't like something he's seen before. Homeboy was shitting his pants.
Did you want to search him, or did you just want to search around the area?
I want to search around the area. Just to see if there's like, I don't know, like a storeroom or something that's something like a storeroom or somewhere that looks like he wanted to keep it locked, or keep something that he wanted to really keep people out of.
For sure. So 2 questions then.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, how long do you guys want to do this for?
I'm just gonna, while he's looking for something that looks like it was locked up to keep people out of, I'm gonna do a lap around the area and just look for a storeroom, a warehouse, something with large doors that we would be able to get into and maybe drag him into and lock up.
Nice. I got it. Big rubber bands.
You gonna watermelon challenge him?
Oh, God.
For the claws.
So there's definitely a few buildings that if you want to try to drag him to Orlo, you're more than you can definitely, there's more than enough places you can try to put him in for sure.
Okay.
Can I look and see, does he still have his journal around his neck from before when he changed?
Go ahead and roll investigation.
16.
So it takes you a minute of digging through, because like his clothes are kind of like, not only are they're still there, but they're kind of like stuck to him, but they're also partially like grown into him. But you do end up finding this journal, and it's kind of partially like grown into some of like the chitin of him. Do you want to try to just pull it out?
Can I use my dagger to just kind of like get just it out while trying to do as little damage as possible?
Yeah, it'll take you a couple minutes to kind of like sit there and pry it out, but you can definitely do that with inflicting little amounts of damage.
Yeah, I'll do that and then try to read through the most recent journal entries.
Okay. So
and suddenly he stops breathing.
You shut up.
How long do we want to? Sorry, Ducky.
No, go ahead.
How long do we want to stay here? Because that was a question that Ducky asked that we didn't answer. Like, how much do we want to give to searching this area?
I mean, I'm only gonna say like 5-10 minutes because I'm just trying to get him in somewhere. So I'm going to be in a hurried state, just trying to figure out how to get him out of the open and in a secure area.
But like overall,
I wouldn't say more than an hour. Yeah, I wouldn't say more than that.
Okay. Orlo. So the building to your top left is like a pretty decent sized building. It's not exactly like a warehouse or anything, but you could definitely pull him into it. And it's about 90 feet. So if you'd like to try to roll, or if you'd like to roll athletics to see if you can drag him, or if someone wants to help you, go ahead and roll it with advantage.
I was gonna say Laya and I could tie our rope to it and then just like use the ropes to drag it. Maybe.
Yeah, I can help with that.
Okay. So then go ahead and roll with advantage.
14.
So it takes you guys a couple minutes to kind of like get him moving because he's kind of stuck a little bit to the ground now that he's been sitting there for a few minutes. But once you kind of get him sliding, you can very easily kind of slide him into that room or into that building and kind of shut the door behind it.
Is there a way to like bar the door and make sure it's not going to open?
You would have to rig something up. There is like the doors have locks on them, but you would have to lock it from the inside. But if you want to like prop something up against it or outside of it, there's plenty of stuff around to do so.
Can we just like roll? Is there like a boulder or something that we can roll in front of the door?
I could cast alarm to let us know if the door opens.
Does that have a range on it? Or does it, or anywhere you go, you will be alerted? For instance, if we leave.
I think there's an audible alarm that sounds within 60 feet, but I believe that
I didn't.
Mental is within a mile.
Mental is within a mile. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's only lasts for 8 hours.
So that'll help us while we're still here.
My only concern is if we're going to get information. We might venture out of that mile radius and then this thing might feel better and break out without us knowing. And then we have a giant crab man on the loose that has a vendetta against us that is also someone who is friendly to us.
Who knows? He might start yelling stars.
I don't like it. I don't want it. He doesn't have an eyeball to attack. Does
that make him like our frenemy then?
He's my fremesis.
Fremesis?
So what's the decision on the door? There's not any boulders specifically, but there's, like I said, there's definitely some larger things that you could place outside of that to keep it shut.
I think we do both. I think
Okay.
Laya, I think you should cast alarm on this like you did the door when you were doing the research. And I think we should also stack some things up in front of this door to make sure he doesn't get out, just in case the alarm fails for some reason.
I can do that.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to start looking for large items and stacking them in front of the door.
Sounds good. How long would you like to do this for?
It's like 15 minutes.
Okay. So first, since we kind of cut it off already, I will start with Laya. So she spent some time and she dug this little journal out of like the carapace of the creature that Rogak had turned into. And she remembers seeing him kind of writing in it this morning. So she pulls it out. And there's a couple of recent just notes about your names and what you look like, just kind of very brief descriptions of who you people were. And just like very like little things, just so he remembered who you were, right? Then there's also some notes about some plants, some things that he needs to get done, just tasks around Barisa that he has to remember to do so that he, it's just him taking care of this place. It's a lot of work. But then there's also a section kind of further towards the back of the journal that he keeps. And it's just a couple of thoughts and notes about things that he's found weird about Granny May specifically. And there's three things in particular that kind of stand out to you as you read through this. Things, some of them at first were things that very similar to what she wrote down, or what he wrote down for you. Just physical descriptions, things about her, what she was looking for, things of that nature. But as it goes further down in the page, there's a comment about how every time she comes around, that she kind of seems different. She always remembers what she's looking for. She always has the same conversations or continues them, but her mannerisms and her personality seem to differ. They seem to change a little bit.
She's an interdimensional being.
The second thing is something that definitely would kind of stand out, especially being that where you guys are, but that she comes down and she frequently gathers herbs, which doesn't immediately stand out as strange to him, but he also makes a note that I wonder if she knows what all of these ingredients could be used for. And then the third thing was, I always worry that she travels alone and she never asks me for any help. It's very dangerous out in those woods, and especially even more so now.
Okay, I'm just gonna pocket his journal for now.
And are you going to talk to anybody about it at all, or just?
Is Orlo still like right around me?
He would be stacking furniture still outside of the door, yes.
Orlo, I found this journal that belonged to Rogak. Rogak. Damn it. Fuck. Mr. Krabs. I found this journal that belonged to
Rogak.
Yeah,
Third time's a charm.
Another
Rogak.
again.
Whenever we're all together again, we might want to take a look at this. It has some mostly observations, and some of them might be worth looking at and talking about.
Why wait? And then I just, whatever I'm holding, I just chuck over my shoulder and just start walking over towards her. And just kind of like sit down cross-legged next to her.
And I'll just be like slightly taken aback, but then I'll just like turn to the page that has all the stuff about Granny May and offer that up to him.
And then I'll just I'll reach out and take it and just start reading it over and just kind of think about internalizing that a little bit, and look at Laya and say, you know what? I knew that Rogak was a good guy. I always worried about Granny May traveling alone as well. But this other stuff, why would he think that she doesn't know what these things are for?
I think perhaps you're missing a little bit of the nuance there.
In what way?
It seems, in my opinion, to be implying that the herbs that he's growing for her might have a darker purpose.
So when we showed up here the first time and I happened to insinuate that maybe he was getting taken advantage of, that I might have been onto something there. Is that what you're saying?
Sure, yeah.
Because why would he, if he knew these were potentially used for a darker purpose, why would he provide them still? That doesn't seem like him.
No, likely he would not. And then that coupled with, the fact that she travels these woods by herself could potentially be a little troubling.
Mm.
And I just think we might want to discuss this as a group. Maybe once we're back in Elriel.
Emmerin, what are you? Are you also looking around with Flo right now? Or would you just be hanging out here as well?
What would Emmerin be doing? Yeah, I'd probably be helping. I don't know. So like probably helping with the stacking of stuff and like getting the thing put away, but I also don't want to intrude on this private conversation either. So
Oh no, I mean I only offered it to Orlo specifically because I knew he was there. Like,
so then, for the sake of argument, let's say that Emmerin is now walking back with a larger piece of furniture that he was off scavenging somewhere else.
all right, that sounds good.
Hey, Emmerin, can we get your 2 cents on something?
Sure. What's up?
And then I just, as you go on, I'm gonna hand him the book.
So this is fuck. Now I'm questioning myself. Rogak.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is his journal.
So he kind of takes it and he flicks through it and you kind of like hear him mumbling the passage to himself, like, "Oh, I'm gonna go into the woods. I'm a little worried about it." Interesting. Granny may be evil.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was thinking. Orlo didn't seem to get that from this. But yeah.
Not a lot of people traverse the woods by themselves, especially your elderly people. She'd have to have an ace up her sleeve, as it were, I would think.
And clearly she didn't have trash can with her, so we know it's not that.
Trash can, the power pig. I love it. And he never met trash cans. So he's like, sure. So he just flips the book around, hands it back to you. Yeah, we might be dealing with a bit of a powerhouse.
Why would Zernka send us to Granny May if she was evil?
Well, maybe it's not that she's evil, but she might be manipulating you for her own wants or needs. She's clearly hiding something, is all I'm saying.
I think a lot of people in this realm, world, whatever, are hiding things. Some may be worse than others, though.
I mean, it could be that Zrenka doesn't know.
Zernka seems to know a lot.
So I'm just going to also say that Flo, at this point, you would probably be coming back, and then we'll resolve what you had found while you were out looking here in a second.
Okay.
You all look like you have something that you found.
And I'll just like eagerly hand the book to him and be like, "This is Rogak's journal, and it has some. Wait, just read it."
And I'll take the book. I'll look at her and just slowly take the book, flip through the pages, and
So, skepticism is justified. So she did this. Is what?
That's what I'm thinking. Perhaps maybe she alerted someone we were here.
That had to be it, because something like that doesn't just pop out of the middle of a pond for no reason. That definitely seems like a summoning of some kind. I don't know magic, but that's way too out of ordinary circumstances, or even extraordinary for that matter.
Why would she sacrifice Rogak if he was helping supply her with items?
He
Well,
got too close to us.
perhaps she was worried that in enough time, that he would give us some information. And if she's been here working with him for as long as they've insinuated, perhaps she's found a way to cultivate some of the items on her own, or at least grow them again for herself.
Does it say in his journal which herbs he's cultivating for her, or any ways to identify them?
There's definitely a few of them that Orlo has already seen. And especially with going over some of the things that he went over with last night with Rogak. Go ahead and just give me a nature check with advantage, Orlo.
I was going to ask if there's like, do I recognize any of them and any of the purposes of them? Or like, oh, great. The same roll twice. 8.
Okay. So you're still not super familiar with a lot of the herbs of this place, and it's definitely going to take you some time, but you remember at least where they were, and you kind of start looking through some of these books, especially the one that he had specifically given you. And as you kind of search while this discussion is going on, it seems like they all have independent uses. Some of them can be used for healing tinctures, or some of them can be used for memory potions, things of that nature. But all of them have one thing in common specifically, and they can all be used to make a sleeping potion.
And you said what, healing tinctures also?
Yeah, so a couple of different things in that vein. So healing tinctures, memory potions.
I just let the group know after I go over the information. Well, I'm going over some of this information, trying to see if there's a pattern or see if any of these ingredients can be used for anything nefarious. And the only thing I'm really coming up with is sleeping potion. That's kind of the common pattern I'm seeing out of these herbs. I don't know really what that would do.
That could potentially explain the shared dream we all had.
But we had that shared dream in Zrinka's establishment.
Right.
Well, is it possible the two are working together?
But that was after we met Granny May. Did we take anything from Granny May?
I don't remember us doing so, but what does she live in? Wasn't it some kind of natural, it was a tree? I can't remember. Any case, what I'm getting at, maybe there's a way to affect people via airborne methods.
Some sort of time delay, even.
Yeah, I can't imagine she wandered through the woods simply because she couldn't get a good night's sleep.
Emmerin, you want to go back on timeout?
You would definitely be able to remember, because especially it wasn't super long ago. It was she lives in like a cottage, kind of in like a glade, but it definitely, you are correct, it was kind of built up against, not into, but up against like a very large tree behind it.
I honestly, thinking of what Zrinka is capable of, because didn't she grow our rooms?
Correct.
I really wouldn't put it past her to have some kind of like defense built into her house. So it's like, I mean, it is like something natural. So it could something like release spores or something. That
This is a player question and a character question, but who's Zarinka?
So Zrinka is somebody that they have interacted with before you have come in, but she is a tavern owner in Elriel. And you actually probably, Emmerin would have interacted with her, probably at least in passing, because you would have come through there. So you would probably, you wouldn't be super familiar with her, but you would probably recognize her as after they had explained to you who she was.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh no. Not the drink we all like.
Was I drinking that?
But you gotta think about it, like even we all drank it.
We all
That was the
drank
only
it.
that was the only thing that we've all taken. It's either we were all in Granny Mae's house and she
When we ate her food.
pepper spray. No, we didn't, because I didn't eat her food there.
Oh, that's true.
So either we got pepper sprayed somehow at Granny Mae's house, or like I really don't want to suspect Zrinka, but that's the only thing we've all taken.
Or maybe the sleeping potion is for something else, and that's just a coincidence.
There's a red herring somewhere, and I don't like it.
Or do you know? Can those sleeping potions cause like a shared psychosis or something of that nature, or is it just sleep?
Do I know?
You would know that, at least your understanding of potions and things of that nature, you would definitely know that it would be possible for somebody with enough knowledge of things like that to be able to inherently cause some shared experiences.
So just, I'm still getting used to all of these herbs. It's all very new to me, but based on where I come from, if any of it is similar, whoever is using this could, in theory, make something to cause us all to have a shared experience, but I can't absolutely say for certain, but highly likely that that is possible.
I don't like this.
So as you guys are sitting here, probably about 2 hours have passed as you're sitting and discussing and reading and looking things up. It's about midday by this point now. And you are all startled by a sound coming from the house where you have just piled a whole bunch of shit outside of the door.